Queens to me is the best borough in New York. So many immigrant families have come here to build a life, and it's like, I feel like the hidden gem of New York.
It's not until I come to Queens that I'm able to experience all of Latin America, and it's awesome. It's really like having a passport, and all you have to do is take your Metro card and come over here.
I believe Queens is somewhat of a misunderstood borough, but I do think when people get familiar with the borough, there's things that they will be pleasantly surprised to find.
There are powerful Latinx subcultures with a unique heartbeat shaping every city in the U.S. A heartbeat formed by a group of Americanos who are embracing the roots and shaping the future. A long lineage of Latinx artists, chefs, musicians, and creators helping to make their towns a one-of-a-kind place to explore. This is the U.S. through their eyes. Welcome.
My name is Janelle Martinez, and we're here at Libreria Barco de Papel. To be able to come to a space like this and pick up a good book that reminds you of home is really powerful. I'm constantly reminded of the power of words and what you can do with them. I have family that lives in Queens, so my connection is both through family and also, I guess, chosen family. I am a multimedia journalist and the creator of Ain't I Latina. So Ain't I Latina is a blog that I created to essentially highlight and celebrate the narratives of Afro-Latinx women. It was about creating this digital hub where myself, women that identify similarly, could see their stories uplifted and shared across the web. When I want to explore culture, food is definitely a big part of that. Like, there are so many different cultures and food and cuisines that one can find in Queens.
Cheers to Black History.
Yes.
We'll be having an interview with Diva Green, who is an amazing, also content creator and Afro-Latina, and that'll be happening over some good bites.
The guide is out into the world.
Yes, things are
Which is exciting.
So it's the Afro-Latinx Guide to New York City. It's basically a guide to all of the Afro-Latin businesses in New York City. It's been really kind of like traveling in my own city. So I'm bringing the guides to life now through these Afro-Latinx walks.
I think a lot of times people historically don't know how deeply rooted our cultural influences and our history are, definitely in Queens, but the larger New York City. We are a continuum, and I think that the work that I'm doing is definitely a continuum of the elders that have come before me.
Una cosa que me encanta sobre Queens is that you can find Mexican cuisine, Colombian cuisine, Peruvian cuisine, all on one block. My name is Jali Alessandra Brown Cepeda, and we are here in Flushing Meadows, Corona Park. Over here, you have the World's Fair Globe, which is directly across from the Queens Museum. Over there, you have Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium, where I used to come with my grandparents to watch the US Open, and where I graduated from college. And then down that way, you have the tennis courts that I used to play tennis at when I was a kid. One thing that people get wrong about Queens all the time is that they just kind of lump together that it's a place where there's a huge immigrant population. But what does that look like? You know, you have tons of Southeast Asian communities, tons of Latinx communities, tons of other communities, you know, from all over the world. And once you start to experience it, you see how amazing it really is. Una empanada de carne.
¿Para acá?
Sí. Y un pastel de guayaba, por favor.
¿Algo más?
Un cafecito con leche y 2 azúcar. Today I'm super excited because we're gonna hit a few bakeries that were suggested by people from Nueva Yorkinos, and I can't wait. Nueva Yorkinos was started actually on Valentine's Day of last year when I was in my country of Dominican Republic. And I was just scrolling on Instagram, and I was seeing okay, cool, there are projects dedicated to specific niche communities or interests, but there was nothing that I came across that represented the New York City Latinx experience. This is actually me when I lived in Harlem with my mother. Always with an attitude. I'm genuinely obsessed. Genuinely obsessed with everyone who submits, with every story that I've received, and just with the process as a whole. We're going to SEBA, Colombian Bakery, which was recommended by a few of the Nueva Yorkinos community members. And I can't wait to try it because I love Colombian bakeries. So my name is Jali, and Jali means griot, and it comes from the Malian Empire in West Africa. There are people who pass down their village's history through oral tradition. And so here we are. One of the more recurring themes that I see is it's definitely stories of survival, of assimilation. But I think that the general themes are those of how strong and resilient the immigrant community is in New York City.
Queens is becoming more of a place for people to come and make art and also present art. Not many neighborhoods still have this kind of grassroots feel to it. My name is Stefa Marina Larcon, and we're in Queens Museum. Queens Museum has amazing programming, specifically for the immigrant community that lives in Queens, which I really love. I used to come here as a kid on art trips. This is the panorama, and right now we're right by Manhattan. That's Queens right there. Lots of green, as we can see, lots of parks. Not only is it a to-scale model of New York City, it's also constantly being updated. If you were coming to Queens and you wanted to find something a little more underground, something a little more independent, you could definitely do that. I like to set up like a makeshift altar. So I like using different props and different fabrics. These flowers, I got them at the 99-cent store, which I feel is very Queens. Quiero una casa, quiero una casa, quiero una casa. I grew up singing classical music, and classical voice is a lot about singing with other people and being able to sing with other people and being in tune, not just sonically, but also almost like spiritually in a way. I can't not be singing, not even at my jobs. I'm always singing. The DIY community has really started to foster these spaces for up-and-coming musicians and independent artists to be able to present their work. And then if you wanted to go to a more homegrown space, a place that has been in the community for 20 years, you could go to TERRAZA 7. TERRAZA 7 is a Latin jazz club, and in there, you're gonna hear the most amazing musicians in New York.
Lo mejor acá es la música, eso te va a encantar. Lo que encontré es que las comunidades querían recrear su cultura de origen. Entonces me pareció que era importante que sí se expresara esa memoria auditiva, pero a través de elementos locales. Procuré hacer música que hacían los maestros tradicionales, pero los invitaba a hacer diálogos con músicos locales.
Honestly, one of my main influences is literally being from Queens. Like having so many sounds around me, growing up, with friends from so many countries. So I feel like my sound is like Queens. It's experimental. I gather from different genres. It's part of my upbringing too. So I feel like that's my sound, Queens sound.
While it's always been a vibrant borough, I think now we're starting to see more visibility around Queens.
You're just exposed to so much more of the Latinx community and the overall region here in Queens.
There's so many amazing things in Queens that feel really homegrown, that feel really genuine. Quiero una casa, quiero una casa.